Good evening, fighters. Welcome back to another action-packed episode of True North Fighters. I'm Wolfpack, reporting for duty.
This is Shamaro.
And this is Pharaoh.
And it's your boys, yours truly, K9 Calamity. So, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to dive right in, and we have a very important Rapid Punch headline that we need to address. Shamaro, take it away.
Yeah, Wolf. So I've been looking around YouTube recently, and it seems that there is some rumored leaks going around about a possible new reboot to the Virtua Fighter series. So we may be seeing a new game from that series in the next year or three.
All right.
Yeah, there's no real details about it that we can really say as far as like what the game's going to be about. Or when it's going to drop, but we do know it is in development, possibly. Again, these are just rumors that I've been hearing online, but like several people have been saying it, so there must be somewhere that they're getting these factoids from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So so we'll keep you guys updated as these if these rumors end up bearing fruit.
All right, that's friggin' awesome. A brand new Virtua Fighter game possibly being in the works. That's friggin' epic, man. That is one of the earliest major fighting titles out there.
Yeah, and I think it's good that Virtua Fighter is getting back on the horse, so to speak, because like 3D Arena Fighters, Tekken has kind of dominated that for several years, ever since like it's been years since we had Soul Calibur. It's been years since we had Virtua Fighter.
Yep.
And it's been years since we had Dead or Alive. So I think the fact that one of those three is finally making a comeback to challenge Tekken again, I think that's great in terms of like just some healthy competition in terms of the game franchises.
Definitely, it's going to be interesting to see how things develop as the months go by. But yeah, as Shamaro said, we'll keep you all updated as much as possible with this headline of a possibly new Virtua Fighter game being in the works. With that said, let's dive into some of the big headlines that have more or less shocked the fighting game community. So, for those who may have not caught it, there has already been a surprise patch for Mortal Kombat 1, and that patch was specifically dedicated to Peacemaker. So, before I go into any details here, gentlemen, thoughts on Peacemaker getting a balance patch so early into the game?
It is pretty crazy, Wolf. I wonder how he came out. Like, did he come out half baked? Like, what the heck? Like, what brought this on? Because when a new character drops, you would at least wait maybe a week or two before he actually or better yet, a month. Just let players like really toy with him and workshop with him. But yeah, if they're doing it this early after he just comes out, I don't know what to say to that. Did he come out half baked? Did he come out like really overpowered, or it's hard to really say without much more detail. But
That's fair.
I'd say it. I'd say it is maybe somewhat concerning that they had to patch him this early.
Yeah, it turns out that he was extremely powerful. So this patch pretty much nerfed quite a few things in regards to Peacemaker. So before the patch came out, you were able to create no meter combos, no meter, no corner, and you could get anywhere between 400 and 500 damage.
Holy crap, that is insane.
Yeah, that's no meter at all, no cameo, no backing your opponent into a corner. That's just straight up one-on-one, middle of the stage, just absolutely freaking nuts. So specifically what they adjusted on Peacemaker is fixed force multiplier. There was an issue there. Auto block is supposed to be enabled, but it did not enable, which in turn led to unintended linked combos that would do massive damage. So that has been fixed. And actually there's one buff, but it's a very minor one. Force multiplier actually gains a slightly increased combo damage multiplier. So you're gonna if you start off a combo with force multiplier, or if you chain into it, yeah, there's gonna be a bit of a damage increase as opposed to what it originally was. I can't give you the specifics, unfortunately, because I have not tried utilizing Force Multiplier. I've just been using the past couple of weeks just for like the feeling out process of what Peacemaker is going to be all about. But going back to the nerfs, Eagly ended up getting nerfed. That's Peacemaker's eagle sidekick. Literally, it's a bald eagle. The cooldown after blocking ground air offensive and beautiful bird bullet is now the same as when they either hit or miss. So the cooldown for that is 3 seconds. It doesn't say here what the value was before, but now the cooldown for blocking ground air offensive and beautiful bird bullet, it's now 3 seconds. However, we actually do get some additional information for the cooldown after Eagly assists during Peacemaker's shove move. The cooldown was extremely broken. Beforehand, it was only half a second. Half a second cooldown. Yeah, so they bumped that up now to 2 seconds. So it's a little more manageable now. And thank goodness that they actually decided to nerf the cooldown, because that's ridiculous. Half a second for a cooldown? Are you kidding me? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's just an illegal move right there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but thank goodness that they did actually fix that. And again, it's only been about a week, maybe 2 weeks, since Peacemaker was made available. Actually, it would be 2 weeks for early access. It's only been under a week for those that weren't able to get them through early access. So it's a good thing that they made some changes on Peacemaker so early on. And I gotta say, for everyone who enjoyed Peacemaker before the nerf, yeah, hopefully it doesn't discourage any of you guys too much. Because, I mean, Peacemaker is still a really fun character to play. So hopefully this doesn't give people the wrong idea that he's no longer going to be like a top tier character or anything.
Cool. All right. Moving on, Wolf. I think we have some more Warner Brothers news here. Apparently, we are getting whispers of the release of Multiverses again.
Yes, indeed. It's hard to believe that it's been just about an entire year since Warner Brothers closed down the open beta servers for Multiverses. And what's really interesting is that more fuel has been added to the fire in terms of the potential return, because on March 5th, so almost a week ago, the official Multiverses social media handles put out a post, and it actually started with them posting on Twitter, and it goes, and I quote, "Taps mic, testing, 1, 2, 3. So that tweet was posted at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on March 5th of 2024. That means that it's probably going to come back. And to further fuel that speculation, we all know, for those who love fast food, yes, there's a reason why this is connecting. For those who enjoy fast food and specifically enjoy McDonald's, guess what the Happy Meal toys have been for the past few days?
Oh my gosh.
Multiverses.
Are they really doing multiverses?
Yes.
Oh.
So
yeah, I've seen that advertising.
Yeah, so it's becoming increasingly clear that Warner Brothers is not done yet with multiverses. Something tells me that maybe the reason why they pulled down the open beta servers after a year was maybe to try and figure out where to go from that point on, quite possibly. And I mean, it's not like people didn't like the game. I mean, hell, in 2022 at the Game Awards, it won Best Fighting Game. So, like, obviously, it's a hit with people. You've got characters from DC, HBO, Looney Tunes, Cartoon Network. Like, it's basically like a dream come true for anyone who loves different IPs from those respective franchises. So
yeah, it's a pretty stacked roster. Although, like, I've seen videos where people are giving like really good alternate rosters, which I kind of sort of agree with. But yeah, for what it's got right now, I think Multiverse has a good roster. I think the main reason why they shut down the beta servers in the beginning was that it got to the point where people love the game so much. And I've heard a bunch of YouTubers talk about this, but it's basically they got so into the beta that Warner Brothers, the higher ups, decided to start putting out season passes for the beta itself, which isn't really something you do for a beta.
Yep, that's true.
So I think just for the sake of being able to like put out the official game and just have it be solid, I think that's probably part of the reason why they shut down the betas, because it was in itself becoming the game itself, and that's not really what you want to happen. Like, honestly, they really shouldn't have really done the season passes in the first place, to be honest.
That's a good point, and I think if anything, maybe they should have just done like a trial run with the seasons pass instead of just going all out on it, because again, like the beta version of a game, it's just supposed to give you a taste of what the final product could end up being like, right? It's called a beta version for a reason.
Here they were saying, hey, you bought the beta. Now here's some other DLC stuff you can buy for the beta. That's when we do get when we do get the full release out, like, this is just going to be obsolete, and you're going to have to pay more for just the full game and the actual DLC. So
exactly,
yeah, Warner Brothers not really a good move on their part, but I'm glad that they're starting with a fresh slate at least, so that we can then get how I guess Multiverses was supposed to work in the end.
For sure, because like the way that I see things going in regards to how we got to this point is Multiverses started out as, a train just pulling out of the station, beginning its journey, but then people loved it so much that it just couldn't be controlled. It went right off the rails. It was a runaway freight train, and then the burnout started coming in, and it started coming in like gradually. It wasn't like you're going full speed ahead and then next thing you know you hit a brick wall and you stop. It was pretty much more of a gradual drop off, because
it was like the train ran out of gas before it left the station.
Exactly. That's definitely how I would put it. So yeah, hopefully we will be getting some announcements regarding Multiverses in the coming months. Hopefully. I was gonna say weeks, but I don't want to get people's hopes up too high. I don't want people to start creating unrealistic expectations for this game, because yeah, people love it, but it's like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here.
Just like what you're saying is, like, don't come in with unrealistic expectations, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, all is not lost for Multiverses just yet.
It's just going to take some time and patience.
For sure, and actually, that's going to lead us into another topic in regards to Warner Brothers, and that is with regards to them backing away from AAA titles to focus more on mobile and live service games. So, I mean, we already have seen we've already seen kind of the ups and downs of the live service part of things because Hogwarts Legacy, like, that's going really well. It had a rough start at first, but it's actually going really well now.
Yeah, like it's not really
Whereas,
talked about that much, but I know for those who have talked about it on YouTube, like it is quite beloved.
definitely. So, I mean, there's the good thing, but then there's the other side of that coin, which was most recently Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This game
Yeah,
fell short on so many levels.
yeah, that game was getting bashed in just about every category possible. Like, oh my gosh, granted, I don't know that much about the game personally, but I mean, it was getting bashed for like the woke agenda, unfortunately. So
Yep.
there was that, and then Wolf, what did you see from it?
Mainly what I saw from it was the problem with sales. It was not selling very well. Warner Brothers, they were going all out with this game. People were just not getting it. And keep in mind, this is also coming off of the continuous backlash that Warner Brothers has been getting from Mortal Kombat 1. So, like, already, Warner Brothers was at a disadvantage going into the release of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League because they were already being slandered for their monetary marketing practices with Mortal Kombat 1. And people people had such an idea of what this game was supposed to look like, what they were supposed to get, and they just didn't get it. Simply put.
Yeah, yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, I think the Warner Brothers heads got maybe just a bit too greedy and they overextended a bit. So basically, this is them getting whiff punished.
Yep. That's true. I like how you did that. That was very clever. No disrespect to Warner Brothers, obviously, but
Yeah, obviously, like you
yeah.
guys have a great you guys have a great roster of franchises going on. And you know what? I think like when I first heard from you Wolf that Warner Brothers was going to take a step back and focus on live service and mobile games. Like I know that it's a bit of a unfortunate circumstance that we're probably going to not get anything after Multiverses finishes up its release and its season pass stuff like through its lifespan. But at the same time, like taking this step back and like having them like focus on like simpler games such as mobile games that really dig into their history and their legacy characters and franchises. I
Yeah.
think that might be a good way to step back and just like hunker down and stay out of the limelight for a little bit, and still make some cash from the franchises that they've been championing for decades now, and just buying their time until they can get their act together and then come back with some better AAA stuff. I have very high hopes that they will go back, they will take the step back, reassess, and realize what they're doing wrong, and then come back. Maybe I'd say like you want to wait at least 3 years, I think, for this
Yeah.
for all this backlash. But I think once that's kind of died down, I think then they can come back and maybe look at Triple A's again. I'm hoping that once they do that, they'll maybe come back and try to do a little more justice to the MK series because yeah, MK1 it was controversial at best. So all I can hope is that it's not over just because WB is stepping away and that they'll come back swinging.
Well, to be fair with this, there's really no confirmation whatsoever on when this process is going to like kick into full gear. So we don't really have to worry about it too much just yet. But like you mentioned, them switching to focus more on mobile and live service games is basically their way to figure out how to get a consistent cash flow coming in over an extended period of time. But with regards to Mortal Kombat, it's well documented that Warner Brothers and NetherRealm Studios are still going to be supporting MK1. Like you're looking about, Warner Brothers Discovery actually mentioned previously that they were planning to support MK1 for about 3 to 4 years, which is double their typical cycle. So, yes, there's still technically some hope for MK1, but given given the magnitude of the fall off in terms of the player base from the game's launch in mid-September up to now, it's possible that NetherRealm and Warner Brothers might decide to pull the plug on the game maybe a year early or maybe even 2 years early.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because there's still things that NetherRealm can do to make the game better, but the problem is that most of that is out of their control. Because Warner Brothers, they're the higher ups, so NetherRealm answers to them, and Warner Brothers has the final say. So even if Ed Boon were to take all of the criticism from the fan base and try to make such a compelling argument with Warner Brothers to try and make MK1 better, it's at best you're looking at a 50-50 shot on whether that's actually going to go through or not. So Mortal Kombat is still going to be very much a thing. There's still probably going to be more games, and the franchise has already dived into mobile games. Mortal Kombat Mobile, it's still going. After all these years, it started up, I believe, in around 2015, so maybe a few months after the release of MKX. And it's still going to this day. And then last summer, they came out with Mortal Kombat Onslaught, which is more of a fighting RPG spin on Mortal Kombat, which is a lot of fun. I've played it myself. It is so much fun. But yeah, all in all, I still think Mortal Kombat's going to stick around regardless. But right now, NetherRealm Studios is not in full control anymore of the end game for MK1 and future entries. So
indeed,
yeah, it's going to be tough this year and probably next year to see how things go for MK1 because again, people are going to continue to stop playing the game thanks to the marketing practices from Warner Brothers. Because right now, if you look at the top 3, your holy trinity of fighting games, Street Fighter and Tekken are light years ahead of Mortal Kombat right now in terms of active players. So, it's honestly only time will tell. That's all I can really say about that.
Indeed.
Corporate, man.
Yep, exactly. And this is some even more bad news, so to speak. Good news and bad news. Early bird registration for EVO North America has just wrapped up. It closed at midnight. And Street Fighter VI is the most registered game for EVO this year. However, the problem there, as I mentioned, with the player base fall off for MK1, it is the second least registered game for EVO this year in Vegas. The only game that came out worse in terms of player registration, King of Fighters 15.
And that's actually not a bad game. So if MK1 is leaving that in the dust, then that's ouch. That's all I can really say about that.
Yep, and to add even more salt on the wound, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike actually ended up getting more registered players as well. As it stands right now, that game is number 5 on the list right now. So, yeah, a lot of people have been trashing MK1 even more now because of the fact that a game that has been around for more than 25 years has more registered players for the biggest fighting game tournament in North America than Mortal Kombat. So, like, things are not looking too good right now, but all I can say is that I am praying to the gods and to any other entity up in the heavens that there's going to be some sort of positive turnaround with this game, because it hurts to see people not enjoying what they're playing, but it hurts even more when you realize that the majority of these players who don't like what they're seeing and experiencing are people who have been fans of the franchise for whether it be a decade or for their entire life. You know, it really bites, man.
It really is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's turn this thing. Let's turn the sadness train around a little bit.
Yeah, we're not going to go doom and gloom for the rest of this.
Yeah. So speaking of Street Fighter, I know you had an announcement for us in terms of Street Fighter 6.
As a matter of fact, yes. So Capcom has brought it to our attention that there would be 2 huge announcements taking place in regards to current and future titles. So March 7th, there was a broadcast that went up at around 3 p.m. Pacific time, and that revolved around stuff regarding Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess and Dragon's Dogma 2. I don't exactly know to the extent what was going on with those, but what people need to know, and this will be released probably long afterwards, is that March 11th, which is tomorrow at the time of this recording, there will be an announcement for Monster Hunter Now, Monster Hunter Stories, which is actually now being ported, and then as well as Exoprimal. And yes, there will be a Street Fighter 6 announcement tomorrow. The whole thing is going to be going down 3 p.m. Pacific time, so that's going to be about 6 p.m. Eastern. So in regards to what that announcement could be specifically for SF6, it could be the reveal trailer for Akuma. It could be, or what it perhaps could be is maybe a preview of what the second set of character DLC would look like.
It could honestly go either way, and either way, I'm excited to see. Like, if it is Akuma, I'm excited to see how the gameplay looks for him.
Hell yeah!
And if it's a new character, and if it's a newer returning character, I am just going to be crossing my fingers that Viper comes back.
Yes, I would love for Crimson Viper to come back. To be fair, she deserves a comeback because she's only appeared in Street Fighter 4, which was the game she debuted in. And outside of Street Fighter, the only other game that I've seen her appear in was Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where she appeared alongside other Street Fighter characters. I believe it was Ryu, Chun-Li, and Akuma, if I remember correctly, were the other Street Fighter representatives for that game. But yeah, honestly, it could go either way. And I have to agree with you on both of the things you just mentioned. If it's a reveal trailer for Akuma, I'm going to be hyped as all hell. And if it's a preview of what the next wave of character DLC looks like, I will also be hyped to all hell on that. Heck, if it's even like introducing new game modes for crying out loud, I'll be hyped for that.
Which would be crazy because like SF6 already has like a crap ton of game modes to begin with. So
it's true.
If they can find if they can find even more ways to play this game, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a record of some sort to have so many game modes in a single fighting game.
Probably. I mean, heck, just look at what Bandai Namco did with Tekken 8 for crying out loud. You got so much going on there. The Super Ghost Battles, Arcade Quest, Tekken Ball coming back. Oh man, it's gonna be really cool to see what Capcom's been cooking up for Street Fighter 6. So again, just a reminder, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern is when Capcom will be doing their next update broadcast. And again, Monster Hunter Now, Monster Hunter Wilds, sorry, Exoprimal, and Street Fighter 6 are going to be the highlighted games. So make sure
Wolf, you do know that they have already watched that by this point, at the time of them listening to this.
Oh, yeah, never mind. That's right. I swear, sometimes I don't listen to myself. I literally made a disclaimer at the start of this, and I didn't listen to that.
We all do it.
Oh, good lord. Yeah, okay,
man.
I apologize. I think I was just a little too excited about that. So
don't worry, Wolf. Like as this podcast evolves more and more, we will get used to the fact that that there is a bit of a delay between us recording this stuff and it actually being published and people listening to it. So
it is true.
For those of you listening, sorry about this. Like we are still noobs at this, but we will learn. We will go through our training arcs and we will get better and we will make this podcast the best it can be.
That we will. But
anyway,
with that, that pretty much wraps up our news segment. Sorry. Somehow now I can't speak either. Let's move along to our indie spotlight.
Yes, Wolf. So this week, I thought I'd bring us back to a more classic indie spotlight. So I believe both of you have at least some knowledge of Gang Beasts.
A little bit, not too much on my end, but like just the general bare bones of it, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who have somehow been living under a rock and have not heard of this game, it's basically a party fighter. It's a 3D arena fighter of sorts. Basically, it's kind of one of those fun floppy physics games of sorts. Basically, you can have like around 2 to 4. So yeah, I think it's 2 to 4. Or maybe it's 6. I'm not sure exactly how many characters you can have maximum, but it is supposed to be a lot. Like it's meant to be a party game. So essentially, you go through like however many rounds you want. I think first to I think it's either 5 or 10 wins. The first to 5 or 10 wins wins the entire game. So basically you will cycle through different arenas, which can range from being on top of a blimp to a train top fight to a sinking ship with sharks in the water to some weird giant meat factory. There's a lot of bizarre locales in this game. But essentially you have these fights in these cool little arenas with your little beasts. Who, by the way, Wolf, you'll like this part. You can customize them.
Yeah, let's go.
I figured you enjoyed that. So you can give them a bunch of little hats, and I think there might be capes involved somewhere. I can't confirm that, but I think I may have seen a cape somewhere or before. But and this is another locale you probably enjoy, Wolf. Is there's also a wrestling ring.
Oh hell yeah, man! Now you're talking my language.
Yeah. So like. It's basically like a 3D Smash Bros. Of sorts. There's no health bars, there's no nothing. Like all you really have to do is knock out your opponents and then lift their bodies up and fling them off the stage wherever you can fling them off. Like that might be like a pit in the middle, or it might be like you could be on top of something and you throw them off the edge. So like there's a lot of variety in terms of the environments you'll come across, and I'm not sure, but I think there are also some items that you can pick up. They pick up every so often. But yeah, it's basically just really really the name itself like just encapsulates this all. Like it's just a gang of beasts just duking it out for supremacy, and it's honestly a really fun game. And at some point, we will definitely have to get online and play that ourselves, because I think it would be a really fun party game.
For sure, it sounds like an absolute blast, man.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our indie spotlight for this week. And as a special little treat for you guys listening, so I know that we said that we were going to do the Punches from the Past segments, that new segment that we did last time. as kind of a replacement for Indie Spotlights whenever we didn't have an Indie Spotlight. But Pharaoh found us a really cool, actually two really cool punches from the past that he really wanted to share. So we thought we'd slide that in and give you guys a double feature for this episode. So Pharaoh, take us away. I believe you have what is considered maybe the first fighting games ever.
Sort of like that. I kind of want to introduce the games that more or less basically founded the fighting game genre as an entire whole. And the first one I think is the most worthy of that would be a game called Karate Champ. It came out all the way back in 1984. Pretty much Data East. I know, you would have been thinking, was it Capcom? Was it whatever other companies? No. The now defunct company Data East created this game all the way back in the day.
Whew.
And it had a few little interesting little gimmicks that aren't exactly in games anymore, but some other, notably Mortal Kombat, used this game as a reference.
Okay,
Similarly,
interesting.
Because I understand that we have the three round, the best of three system in most modern fighting games, right?
Yep, that's correct.
This game didn't have that. Well, it did, but it didn't. It was more of a primitive best of 5 or best of 7, depending on how you decided how things went. What I mean is, you're pretty much doing a match of karate. I know, weird, huh? But then again, it's mid-80s.
This is true.
Pretty much.
I mean that's that's the Karate Kid era, so just banking on that hype. So
yeah, actually, this came a little before that, but it's a point system rather than a health bar system. You just have to get.
So it basically tries to emulate an actual karate match, like an actual competition sports match.
Yes, just like that.
Gotcha.
You need 2 points, 2 points to win a scene, and you actually no. What am I saying? You need 2 points to win, and then after that, if you win, you get a little bonus scene where you either have to dodge stuff, or stop a bull, or break a whole bunch of wood blocks. Stop a bonus.
Sorry, stop a bull? What?
Yep. That sounds a bit silly, but it's for 3,000 bonus points.
What the heck?
Oh, that's crazy.
What?
So I'm curious now, Pharaoh. You said that this game had a lot of gimmicks that modern fighting games don't really use. What can you tell us about those?
What I can say is, you only have 24 different moves based on the 2 joysticks, which nowadays is sticks and buttons. But that, at least the ones that I've seen, they don't have them. It's just 2 joysticks. Jumping was also not exactly a common thing and can be only done with a certain position of the joysticks.
Oh, so you're saying? So hang on. So you're saying jumping used to be an input move, like a special input?
Yes.
That is crazy.
It wasn't like an automatic, you could just flick it up or down. You actually had to move it specifically with your little joysticks.
Good God! What the?
And just note, 1 hit, you're down.
Oh,
you have
good
to
Lord.
make your hits count.
Okay, so it's kind of like one of those indie fighters where it's basically a duel, like a standoff essentially, kind of like dive kick in a sense.
Yeah, pretty much it's how the 1v1 fighting game truly started.
Okay, cool. And then you said you had a second game to show us, and which one was that?
The second game, titled Yi Are Kung Fu. Yes, I know, it's otherwise Chinese, or Mandarin Chinese, I believe, for 1-2 Kung Fu. This one is the first story-based fighting game in, I think, the history of fighting games.
Oh my goodness.
Basically, you're taking on the role of Oolong, pretty much, I would say, a sort of a clone of Bruce Lee. because the game is basically based off of Bruce Lee's Hong Kong kung fu movies.
Okay.
You have less inputs than Karate Champ, but your standard feature of up moves, down moves, like crouching, jumping, that was all established here.
Okay.
And the health bar.
Okay.
All
Because
right.
Karate Champ didn't have a health bar. ER Kung Fu was the first ever to do so.
Okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay,
hang on. There's one more thing. It's also worth noting. This was the first game to have female fighters in it.
Okay.
Oh, damn. Wait, hold on. Does this mean that Chun-Li was actually not the first lady of fighting games?
No, technically she still is, but that's in terms of like major fighting game franchises, your AAAs. Because really, Street Fighter was the very first major AAA fighting game franchise. So, yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, I feel like this could be considered a AAA game for its time. So
yeah, that's fair.
It did sell quite well.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I think Capcom has some explaining to do.
The only thing, though, is you can't play as them.
Okay, never mind. Okay.
Wait, are they like boss characters?
There are two female fighters who you have to play against, but I would argue that they are the first female characters to have ever graced a fighting game.
Okay, so that's different then. If you can't play as them, then yeah, Chun-Li still keeps her title as first lady.
Chun-Li keeps her title, of course.
Okay.
It's also worth noting this game got ported many, many, many times.
Okay, and enough for us to be able to play them today, by chance.
Yes, of course. It goes from, of course, the arcade system, even to the PS2, the Xbox, the Game Boy Advance and Color, and even the PlayStation 4.
Good God, holy moly.
Needless to say, it's been around a very long time. And despite its age, and it's still pretty rough, I'd still argue it's it's primitive, but I still argue it's a lot of fun.
Okay, Wolf, add that to your shopping list on PlayStation Store. We're definitely going to have to make that its own episode on the YouTube channel once that's back up.
For sure, yeah. Holy smokes. That's insane, man.
Yeah, there is one other thing, though.
Okay.
Going back to the characters, of course, each fighter you're gonna take on is completely different from the last.
Oh.
So you really don't know what to expect. I can tell you, some of them have weapons. One of them has a bow staff. One of them has a chain. And the very last guy that you fight is basically Bruce Lee.
Oh, my Lord.
And then once you've beaten him, you start over from the first one, and it just gets harder and harder and harder as you can.
Oh, so it's basically just an infinite loop tower arcade ladder.
Pretty much.
Scene.
Oh, okay. God.
Okay, now I'm curious if there's actually like a world record or something for someone who's for like how far you've been able to get to that. Like, is there actual end to that game, or does it just keep going and keeps getting harder?
I think it keeps going until you lose. So I don't really know how far it'll go.
My God.
But I know if you're really, really good, you can get a ridiculous score.
Okay, now I'm curious to see if there's like a Guinness World Record for the highest score in that game.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen.
If you have a score of 9,900,000, you won't be able to get any additional lives after that.
Oh,
okay.
My goodness, wow. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is a gauntlet match. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that is just a serious endurance training arc right there.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. And Pharaoh, for the first game, the karate game, is there anywhere? Did it get ported to anywhere? Like, can we still play that, or is it? Or is it MIA right now?
No, it's also, as far as I'm aware, it is also a PS4 availability.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And and just hang on, before one thing other, just like ER Kung Fu, it is also basically a gauntlet.
Okay.
Oh.
That'll be interesting. Okay, Wolf, add those to the shopping list.
Yep, you got it. Oh,
Okay.
man, that's crazy.
All right, boys. So, all right, listeners. So you got that double feature from us. Now let's move on to our discussion topic for today, or for this week. All right, boys. So, joke characters in fighting games. What are your thoughts? And who would be your favorite joke character in a fighting game?
Oh boy. Oh man. Okay, just to point out, this was my idea going into this one. This was my idea, so
A fine one it was.
yeah, this is gonna be great. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Pharaoh, how about you kick us off here?
Oh, you want me to start, eh?
Yeah, why the heck not?
All right then. Now I'm going to introduce a character from Mortal Kombat because I think it's notable. I'm pretty sure you guys have all heard of Bo' Rai Cho.
Oh yeah.
Yep. The man who basically farts on you as his fatality.
Oh, jeez.
I'm surprised he never gave himself a Blue Angel. I think that's what it's called.
I think you're missing another key point there, Pharaoh. He does puke as well.
He does drink a lot.
Yep, he does. He's an individual that has mastered the art of the drunken fist, essentially. He's the master of the drunken fist, and surprisingly enough, actually has a role in the Mortal Kombat lore. Funny as that sounds, or strange as it sounds, if I remember correctly, in both the original and alternate timelines, Bo' Rai Cho was a mentor or teacher to Shujinko and Liu Kang.
Maybe there are some joke characters who are actually good after all.
Yeah, but still,
funny.
I mean, it's Bo' Rai Cho. He's going to be the butt of every single joke.
Then again, he still has a use.
This is true. And
there are some characters that don't. We all know that.
Yep, that is especially true. But yeah, Bo' Rai Cho, that's a damn good pick. And to be honest with you, I secretly want him to come back. Because I may have not played him that much in Mortal Kombat X, but the little bit of time that I actually did spend playing as him, he was ridiculously fun to play as. He was so much fun, and I swear to God, I have probably hurt my stomach quite badly on a number of occasions from just laughing way too hard.
Yeah, you mean laughing at his puke puddle?
Yeah, pretty much. Because that is...
Otherwise, in MKX, that'd be the vomit spray.
Pretty much, but like it's also part of his X-ray move in there. Like, he literally makes his opponent slip on vomit for some reason to, like, start off the X-ray move. I don't remember the rest of it, but I know that's what he does. It's just... Oh, my lord. If you were to create a perfect joke character for Mortal Kombat, Bo' Rai Cho is probably one of the front runners for that. Definitely one of the front runners.
Right, Wolf, since you called me up, let's hear yours.
Alrighty then. I mean, I would go with Mortal Kombat as well, but I'm going to switch it up here, and I'm going to go to Tekken, because there are quite a few joke characters throughout the Tekken franchise, and my pick is Mokujin.
I'm not too familiar with that one, Wolf. I know of some, like, I know Kuma used to be a joke character. You know, you have the kangaroo, but I've never heard of Mokujin. What's
Mokujin,
the story there?
Basically a wooden training dummy. That's basically Mokujin. He's a wooden training dummy, and he may seem like a joke character, but he's actually really crazy to play because his play style is he actually takes moves from every character's arsenal. and he just
he's basically the mimic character of the game.
pretty much, but it's like literally, and I'm gonna emphasize this, it's not like, let's say it's Mokujin versus Kazuya. It's not gonna be him just pulling moves from Kazuya's arsenal and using them against him. If this game has like 35 characters aside from Mokujin, damn right, Mokujin is gonna use moves from all 35 of those characters.
Ooh.
And it's at random
Wow.
too. It's at complete random. It's
randomized. Oh,
it's randomized.
So he's not just a joke character. So he's not just a joke character. He's a luck-based character.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
He's basically the Ditto of Tekken.
Exactly, but the funny thing about it is that you would never ever know that just looking at Mokujin. You would never know it because it's like,
I mean,
he's
yeah,
he's a wooden training dummy. You're gonna think nothing of it, and then once the battle starts and you're getting your ass kicked, you're like, oh shit, what have I done?
It's randomized every match.
Pretty much, yeah. Regardless of who your opponent is, yeah, the moves are randomized.
So it's not just Ditto, like the Ditto of the game. It's basically Ditto on drugs.
Oh, jeez.
If you want to make that comparison, sure.
I would
that's
say
what it sounds like.
No.
Yeah, you know what? That's a
Ditto
good
on
point.
drugs at a casino, playing the slots.
Oh yeah, okay. That's probably the most accurate analogy there.
Yeah, that's probably a better one. Now, keep in mind, I actually have never played as Mokujin, and thank goodness that I've never done that, because chances are I probably would have infuriated both y'all's asses. That's for sure. I would have infuriated both of you.
I don't know. I feel like I could have taken you.
You really think so?
I think so. You know what?
Okay, I have a feeling we're gonna have to put that to the test then.
Yes. Okay. You can't see it right now, but I am throwing down the gauntlet here. I am you play as Mokujin, and I'll choose my character, and we'll go at in the YouTube channel. Like, this is the official challenge. Going to the YouTube channel for this. It's gonna happen eventually. We are definitely gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
I'm open to making that challenge too, you know.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. What you got, my brother? What you got?
Oh, we'll see one day, man. It'll definitely be a YouTube episode too.
Okay. He's playing it safe. He's keeping it a surprise. Okay. All right. I respect that. Shamaro, I'll throw it over to you. Who is the joke character you would like to bring into the conversation?
So, to be honest, I even though I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos on so many different fighting games, there's only really one fighting game character, like joke character, that really comes to mind right off the bat when I hear the term joke character.
And who would that be?
That is going if Pharaoh's going with Mortal Kombat for his, and you're going with Tekken 8, I think it's only fair that I go and finish the trilogy with a Street Fighter joke character.
Okay.
And I think you know who I'm gonna choose. It's the Pink Yi himself, Dan.
Oh, Dan Hibiki. Oh boy. Here we go.
Yes, Dan Hibiki. I think he's just he isn't just a joke character to me. Like, he's an actual parody of the fighting game genre itself. Now I'm gonna tell you why. Basically, like, you had Ryu. He was the first really mainline Shota character. Like, you know, he's basically the face of fighting games himself. And then you got Ken, who's basically like a somewhat clone of him, just with different stats and more emphasis on other moves. Then you had guy like Akuma. Like he started as a secret character in one of the Street Fighter 2 games, and he was basically just like Ryu but buffed. And then you had like Brown Ryu, Evil Ryu, a bunch of different Ryus. So it's kind of just like the whole thing, like you know when you keep copying, like making copies of a copy.
Oh, yeah.
Ryu basically just started becoming that, and Dan Hibiki is basically just the end result. Like, you get a watered down like version of what that is. And you know what? Like every fighting game has the Showa character that can like throw a fireball, throw a dragon upper punch, and do a couple other basic moves that you see in all fighting games. And I think the designer who made Dan Hibiki is honestly just it's a very loud cry for help that the fighting games need to like adapt more and just diverse itself a bit more, because like this is like Dan Hibiki is basically like, to me, he's basically like the culmination of what happens when you just keep doing the same crap over and over again in fighting games. Like, sure, it's good that we have standard archetypes to like for players to like get like for players to gravitate to who they might play best at, but at the same time, we just like we have. I think the ratio of Showa characters to everyone else is a bit too high. So yeah, Dan Hibiki, I think he's just a parody, a good parody of the fighting game genre, in how we have too many Showa characters or Showa adjacent characters, and there needs to be some change. Otherwise, we're just gonna get washed out like Dan has. Honestly, I think the funniest thing to me about Dan's backstory is the fact that, one, he got Blanka as a student, and two, he actually has his own dojo.
What the heck? Oh my lord!
Well, hey, Wolf, you didn't know that?
Well, I mean, I knew about the fact that he had Blanka as a student, but the fact that he's got a friggin' dojo, like, bro.
Oh yeah,
How?
Even though he's a crap fighter, he's a really good salesman. Like, honestly, for you and all our listeners, if you guys have not seen the Dan Hibiki versus Hercule Satan death battle from Rooster Teeth, definitely go watch it, because like that basically gives you all of Dan's backstory. It's kind of like, I think it was like season 2 or 3 of Death Battle, like old, like back when it was Screw Attack. But yeah, like, Dan has gone through a bunch of stuff in his history, and yes, not only did he get Blanka as a student, he has his own like official dojo for new trainees to learn his god awful fighting style that actually makes the worst of fighting. It is actually a thing. So I honestly I think Dan is like the pinnacle of joke characters to me, because not only is he like just a serious joke as in terms of gameplay, it's also what he represents in the fighting game scene itself, and just all like the everything in like the whole genre. Plus, it like his story, like they put so much effort into making sure that his story reflected just how god awful of a fighter he actually is.
So could you call him the king of copyright infringement?
Yeah, Pharaoh. I think you might have a point there. Yes, king of copyright infringement. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not a bad. That's not an inaccurate way to describe him. I mean, I don't think he truly is copyright infringement, but he's definitely in the spirit of infringement there. Like, so yeah. So for me, that is the major joke character that I would have to bring up in this discussion. Dan Hibiki, honestly, it's crazy just how prolific this guy is, even though he's not like one of the lesser known Street Fighter characters. Like, back when we heard about Street Fighter 6, I think, or Street Fighter in general having new shirts done by this one company, I actually went to their site to look them up, and there was actually a Dan Hibiki shirt.
Oh my goodness!
It's a beautiful shade of pink, but I've been looking for a really good like pink shirts for my wardrobe. But honestly, I could not, in good faith, pick this because it had Dan's and it's not just Dan's caricature. It's his chibi bobblehead like caricature. So that's just how bad this shirt was. It was honestly in terms of shirts, this would have been the ugliest of the ugliest Christmas sweaters of shirts.
Oh my god.
It was just that bad. And the fact that people are actually buying this, again, it just goes back to how thematic of a joke Dan is to me.
It's true, man. A lot of people love Dan, and they make it very clear. a lot of people would also say that they hate Dan, but like they'll secretly love him. So there's definitely quite a fan base for Dan, from my understanding.
Honestly, I would love it if maybe in Street Fighter 7 or later on in other installments, if Capcom actually gave him like a redemption arc and he became like the new final boss of a new Street Fighter game.
Oh my!
I think that would be the ultimate joke to see, like, okay, so this is how watered down the Shota character archetype is in Dan Hibiki, and now he's like the final boss that we have to face in order to move past him. And reach new horizons and new heights in the fighting game franchise. I think if Capcom did that, like I would have to give them a gold medal in terms of just having a really good story theme, like franchise and even genre wide there.
Oh Lord, it sounds so crazy and so off the wall bonkers, but I feel like it would actually work really well.
Tell you what, I'm actually somewhat confident that Capcom will, like, even if he's not a boss, I think he is going to play, like, some parody role, like, big parody role sometime in the future. So I'm actually going to put some money on this. I bet you guys $20 right here, right now, on this recording, that it, like, by the time they make Street Fighter 10, or before that, Dan will come back in a really big way to either be a really interesting parody of the fighting game genre, or he will become a final boss, or just a sub boss of some sort. I'm betting that right now. $20 says that I'm right.
Parody role, huh?
Interesting.
Jeez,
okay.
This man already gives off the energy that he teaches karate in an abandoned mall.
I think it's worse. I think he's in a strip mall.
Oh,
No!
Yeah, honestly,
of all places, really?
Yeah, strip mall. Like he went total like new age Cobra Kai on this.
Oh my god, no!
Yeah,
I wonder what his budget is. Like $50.
I mean, apparently he gets a lot of students, so I think he's making decent bank on it somehow.
Probably. Oh god.
Yeah, honestly,
That's
like
hilarious.
honestly, like in the Street Fighter universe, like Karate's dead. Dan Hibiki is basically killing it slowly but surely, and like you'll just basically have a bunch of useless fighters out in the streets now. Face it, guys, the old Street Fighter cast, they are the last generation of actual good fighters in that universe.
Oh, good lord.
Yep, he definitely screams neckbeard vibes, man.
Yeah, I mean, if he was able to get Blanca as a freaking student, they're all doomed eventually.
Well, I mean, to begin with, that's bizarre because Blanca's fighting style is completely unorthodox. So already it's crazy enough as it is. But my god.
Yeah.
I would not want to be part of that.
I've been rambling off for a bit too long about Dan, but yeah, that's what I bet. I bet you guys $20 that's gonna happen. You can pay. We'll pay up on that in like a decade from now when Street Fighter 10 comes out, and but yeah. So moving on. Let's finish things off with our dream roster. So Wolf, you've been very cryptic about yours. You didn't give us those dream roster in our playing session earlier last week. And you came into this recording saying that you wanted to leave this as a surprise. So I'm wondering, what dream roster could you be bringing us this week?
That would be a dream roster based around elements of space. So I'm talking.
Okay.
I'm talking planets. I'm talking galaxies. I'm talking comets, asteroids. Oh man. Talking about all kinds of stuff.
Okay,
but
so
yeah.
so hang on. So is this like a continuation of your whole like weather formations fighting game idea?
Not exactly. No, not really. I mean, technically yes, but also no. Because remember, space and weather are very different things. Even though that there are connections between the two, but basically, I just wanted to take things into a completely, different route. I want this to be just no holds barred, anything goes, and I also would want there to be an option where you can actually change the way the game looks. So you could have it look maybe dark and gritty, have it maybe something, similar to Mortal Kombat. Maybe you have it as like very vibrant and colorful like Street Fighter, or pretty much just make it like visually bare bones and just have them be like, I don't know, bobbleheads or something, just beating the living tar out of each other.
Now I'm kind of curious. So you got all these visual effects, but what kind of fighting game would this be like? Is this going to be a platformer? Is this going to be a 3D fighter? Is this going to be a 2D fighter? Like, what are you thinking here?
This would definitely be a 3D fighter. I think just for the hell of it, I would say it would be an arena brawler.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely see that as being like visually stunning. Like, basically, like since it's like social wise, it'll be visually awesome. But what kind of gimmick are you thinking for this game aside from the whole plants being fighters thing?
Basically just all out bullshit. Like there will be no balancing whatsoever in terms of like how overpowered or underpowered moves are. Like literally anything goes. So
okay,
pretty much anything you can think of, like bobbleheads, big head mode, moves doing 0 damage, moves doing maybe 95% damage, or just like whatever, anything that you can think of. Basically, I'm just going all out, balls to the wall. I just want something that's going to be zany and bizarre in every possible way that you could think of.
Okay, now I'm kind of curious. Who would you put as the final boss for this game?
Okay. Final boss. It's going to be some sort of entity that goes back and forth between being a black hole and a white hole. So.
Okay. Honestly, like I was thinking black hole, but you brought up to like black hole and white hole duality. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking is because the black hole sucks things in, right? And the white hole, it pushes things outwards. It does the exact reverse. So what I'm thinking is that the way this would work is when it shifts into black hole form, it sucks away your offense and defense gauges, but when it switches to white hole, the knockback decreases your health a bit.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it would probably be something like that. Obviously, I'm not going to have like a middle form, which is like black hole and white hole combined effects happening simultaneously, because that would just be... I know I said anything goes, but it's like, even with that phrase, anything goes, like, you got to draw a line eventually. So...
Yeah, honestly, although, hang on. Honestly, like, I could see that happening. Like, if you took the white hole, black hole duality and just merged them into one form, like, make that a second stage to the boss fight, and then, like, if you merge, like, the black hole with white hole, you just get the singularity form.
Actually, yeah, you know what? That would probably... Yeah, that's a better way of looking at it. But, yeah, the final boss would essentially be this entity, this faceless, bottomless entity of some sort that can shift between its black hole and white hole forms, and then eventually, in the second phase, it has black and white simultaneously. So that would pretty much be that would be my sort of dream roster.
Cool.
All right. So then, what about you, Shamaro? What do you got on tap for us?
Okay, so coming off of Pharaoh's last Pharaoh's last week dream roster of the diseases, I am also going to be in the medical vein here, and I think this is an anime franchise that I honestly think is really, really cool, and I think is really a really good example of good edutainment. And I think it could really benefit from a fighting game. Is Cells at Work.
Oh, nice! That's a good one.
Now, first I have to ask, like, to the both of you, how much do you know about this anime and its spinoff, Code Black?
Again, like I said earlier, with Gang Beasts. Just bare bones stuff, but I have watched a little bit of it here and there with my sister. I know for a brief period of time she was into watching it, so I was able to get some bits and pieces from the different episodes that we watched here and there. But yeah, I know a tiny little bit about it.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Cells at Work is a really good, like, it is actually a really good show, and it's got some good comedy to it too. Basically, you basically just follow the adventures of this little red blood cell. She's a bit of a klutz. She's derpy, and you basically have her and a bunch of other recurring cell characters like the white blood cell, the killer T cells. They're right, honestly, to watch. And basically, you basically just go through them and see how they go about their jobs in different parts of the body. So, red blood cells, she's carrying oxygen throughout the body to deliver her cells and nutrients and stuff. And she's usually getting lost, and she's usually getting sidetracked by all the shenanigans that are happening in the body, whether that be viral infection or just some or just some injury that happens, or just a common cold. It's a pretty zany show, honestly. And then you got Code Black, the spin-off series, where they just gender swap all the roles, and they make it very dark and bleak. Like if Cells at Work was like a example of like the inside of a young person's body, Code Black is essentially like a old guy who is not taking good care of his health, and now his body is just deteriorating. He got smoke, he got hair loss, he got pimples, you got just all that nasty stuff. So,
oh my.
So and in both of them there is a good amount of combat, just in terms of fighting back infections. So I think a fighting game would be perfect for this show, for this franchise, just because you could have all the white blood cells, the killer T cells, the and all the other good cells in your body that help that basically make up the immune system. You could throw in some lesser known cells as maybe joke characters, or more technical type characters, and then you could have the villains being all the germs that pop up throughout the show.
Ah, okay. That's
and for obvious reasons, I would definitely make this an anime style 2D fighter.
Oh,
obviously.
yeah.
because Wolf, I'm pretty sure just from your small bit of experience with those few episodes that you watched, it's a very all the fight scenes are pretty flashy.
Oh, so yeah, they are. Hell yeah.
So I would expect the same thing from this show. Now, I'm not quite sure who the final boss would be in this Dream Roster game, but I can definitely see it being. Actually, no. Maybe it will be because in the mainline series that has 2 seasons out now, there is a recurring villain of the Cancer Cell. That's where you go and put as the final boss, because he's honestly a pretty OP character in the show. So I would definitely put him as the final boss.
Gotcha. All right, that sounds pretty freaking cool, man.
Yeah, and then now, so Pharaoh, you have your own Dream Roster. I believe you put it as another zany idea involving boxes?
That is correct. Funny enough, the idea came from a Family Guy cutaway gag.
Okay.
But I have it in spirit as, it's a boxing ring. Making a whole bunch of box-related shit.
I see what you did there.
Yep. It's just a little stupid way for fun.
Oh my god.
So now I'm curious. How does this game look? Are the combatants and themselves actually boxes, or
Yes.
is it you have boxers that just have boxes for boxing gloves?
No, it's boxes that are boxing in a boxing ring.
Okay, and how are the characters differentiated in this game?
I would probably say by whatever they have on their whatever labels and shit is on the box.
Okay.
Named accordingly.
All right.
Or maybe box related puns, something like that.
Could be.
Oh my lord.
It's just stupid fun.
Cool.
That's
Okay.
insane, man.
There was a final boss. If I were to honestly to put a final boss, it would probably have to be Bubble Wrap.
You know what? That's actually perfect. That's actually a perfect final boss.
Oh gosh.
That shit's immune. It's more resistant to water than cardboard is.
Oh, that's a good
Probably have
point.
some water-based attacks. Well, within reason,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. Now I'm kind of curious, Pharaoh. For this game, do you see this playing more like Punch Out, where it's like a first-person perspective and you're just boxing and weaving, or is it more like a 3D arena fighter that you're thinking of here?
Honestly, what I can kind of see is one of the old boxing games that EA used to make. Or I don't know if they still do or not.
Okay.
I can kind of see it as like you can switch between first and third person. To really fully immerse yourself into it.
Okay, not bad.
I honestly never heard of that concept before, but that would be interesting to bring back in a fighting game like this.
Because I think I played an old, forget what the series is called. It's either an old MMA title or whatever the hell the boxing titles was back in like 2004 or 5 or something. But it'd have to be so it's sort of like the game back in the day was 3D. I know that much. Kind of like a side perspective. But I think optionally switching that you can have the choice between a first person and like a side view, I think might be an interesting decision.
Okay, cool.
Not bad at all. I like the sound of that.
Honestly, man, I got nothing else.
Fair enough. With that pretty much brings us right to the end of the episode. This one's been very, very action-packed, as we mentioned at the very beginning. Thank you so much for sticking around this long to listen to us, and that's not just for this episode, but that's for every episode that came before, from the pilot up to now. Want to thank you all so much for choosing to spend your time with us. Means the world for us to know that you guys are listening and enjoying the content.
Yeah, episode 10 is no joke. Like I'm proud of us for making it this far.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Episode 10 already. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
I can say the same. I'm surprised we didn't got this far.
Yeah.
Again, we still have a long way to go, don't we?
Yes, we do,
and we will continue. We will continue bringing you guys hopefully weekly episodes, and we'll keep you up to date on news, and we'll keep you guys entertained with our own discussions, our own thoughts, and our crazy hypothetical rosters.
Yep, exactly. So, to wrap up, from all of us here at K9 Calamity, I'm Wolfpack.
I'm Shamaro.
I'm Pharaoh.
Be sure to stay safe, stay warm, or stay cool, whichever it's going to be, because I know the weather is flip-flopping back and forth like crazy. But most importantly, fight on, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
See you later, everybody. We'll see y'all again soon.